Hey guys, this is Team Orion. Today we are here with Rhys presenting his 5-0 Blackburn deck profile. Any shout outs before we start?
Yeah, shout out to our sponsor, Gecko College. Use Team Orion 5, code Orion 5 for 5% off checkout.
Alright, that's perfect. Let's get straight into it then.
Yep, so played an Unchained Fiend Link pile. It's similar to when I topped the regional. Starting with the Unchained package, got 3 of Bruja. Drawing this is crazy because you can just try and get into Shavara or use a back row to try and play through some hand traps. 1 Sarama because it's just really good for me able to reset them. It's also like an impair magnet and you don't particularly care about resolving depending what trap you start with. Shavara, which is just insane, you get to dodge your hand traps and you get to send it off Aerial Eater, you get to just special X, search Yama, there's so much. We got Shiyama, which is like follow up. You kind of don't like drawing it, but there's a lot of ways of discarding this deck surprisingly. Disaster, you really don't want to draw this, but if you run this, you get to tuck Shavara underneath the Caesar without needing to use a second Yama. And that Yama's really important for your follow-up sometimes. For spells, for the Unchained package, got 3 Prison, just be able to search or be able to blow it up. 2 of each trap. I'm normally on 3, but I decided to cut down a little bit because I went a little further into the opening Spirit Gates package. But two is still fine. Like you're still able to reset whichever one you want on follow up. You can get one off Sarama in grind games. There's a lot you can do. The entire engine is in general is fine, but into Rhysio, even though if your stuff can float, if they destroy your target for a Ruhai, your target for Shavara, you do lose the body, which really sucks.
Anything you changed in the main?
In terms of the Unchained package, I think I'd maybe cut this and run Unchained Abomination. It's a good way of outing Cross or just trying to bait a hand trap. In general with the deck as well, I'd consider running Chaos Hunter in the side or the main as a thing I can use going to Lancia, but also just into Malice. But also just being able to discard cards really good to say the deck is perky. Next, Fiendsmith engine, 3 Engraver, 1 Lacrimo, 1 Luria, 2 tracks. Pretty standard, some decks run 3 tracks, but I like 2 instead because you don't want to brick on too many, especially because there's no Sanct to be able to search with extra copies of Engraver. This engine's great, it enables so much. It links this deck all together, and drawing Engraver just at the start is crazy. Lacrimo's a decent enough normal summon, Lurie's decent, and honestly opening tracks is just crazy. Because you can start doing your plays and play on draw. You can slam this down to start it off. If they draw you, you're perfectly fine. You can just go Aerial Eater to play around everything. Won't really change anything with that. So next package is tied together by Throne. You want Terra to search it, and then you can search this with Rhys going second, or if they bestial you, which with Malice is pretty common. This card is just absolutely insane. It's so much more integral now because you've only got 1 Phantom. So this is how you're able to recycle it in grind games. If you've got Thrust going second, you really want to be getting Throne in rotation if possible. So first, obviously, Yubel package, 2 Spirit, because sometimes you want to search one with Nightmare Pain. Sometimes you've already got the Squirmer, it's really awkward to get it back into deck, you won't be able to resolve it. It's good in hands. Using this against a Razio player is actually really strong, because you can special this, search the Nightmare Pain, which we do obviously run, add this to hands, and then if you try and destroy this in response, you can just special summon your Yubel out, and you're perfectly fine. I'm not running Terra Incarnate because I don't think you really need to blow this up, and it comes up every now and then where oh, I could Nightmare Pain blow this up, but if you open Terra Incarnate, it's awful. Squirmer, to search off of this usually, it's an extender, it's follow-up because you can summon back the Spirit of Yubel. You can shuffle it back after linking off with it to be able to Nightmare Pain again. I like Mature Chronicle potentially, but I'm not running it in this list, but it's a good way of getting some follow-up, especially some Chaos Angel ones going first. Sacred Beast package. I tried out 2 gates, 1 Chaos Summoning Beast. I'd cut one of these. I've not quite decided which one. Just a little too bricky sometimes. But Beckoning's insane. It just sucks when it gets failures. The Spirit Gates is bad to open unless you run Almirage. So if you find space for that, I'd probably consider just cutting this. Maybe run a third of this as well. Because the fact this can also add itself back is just crazy. Because you got so many ways that you could discard a card in this deck. Non-engine, ran 2 Thrusts because this is good for grabbing Terra, it's good for setting Unchained back or going first. You can set Imperms, which run 3 of. You can search this as well to get rid of Detonator. 3 Ash and 3 Nib. I think this is just standard this format. Nib is crazy. If a Malice player gets too greedy, you can hit them with it. If they open Underground, you can hit them so much easier with it. Against Rhys, sometimes you can get them with it. It kind of depends on like the opener, how they play it. And then Ash is just crazy being able to
How
hit
did
so
your
much.
ratio hand trap work for you then?
It was fine. I was finding one most games, and like it's normally not to slow them down. If a Rhys play like opens cross, if they it's mainly opening cross, honestly. You don't really care about anything else. But if they do that, it really sucks in terms of the Ash and the Imperm. The Nib has done really well. A Mouse player got greedy, got punished by this. Drew Imperm and Nib, and it was just really good against that. So it's good. I did like it. And the thrusts were amazing. I'm siding the third one, which like you'll see in a bit. Because going second it's good, and going first in this hand trap format, you want a lot of the triple tactics cards just to punish it. Deck count is 46, 47, something like that. It felt pretty good. I wasn't throwing too many bricks, it was like one at most. And then if I drew like multiples, they could still kind of flex together. Like if you draw Lurie and you draw the Summoning Beast engine, you can still discard the Lurie and get some value. Next, extra deck, Fiendsmith engine. Probably a little heavier than I need to be. Necro Equip isn't necessary, but I do like it because you get to go into the hand trap wars and you always get to go +1. Aerial Leader can get you into the Yubel line, or it can get you into the Unchained line. Desiree is just something to go for if you've already got access to one or both of them. And then these three are just necessary to start doing those plays. 2 Yama, I don't think 3 is like possible anymore because you've just got so much like extra space taken up with this, and yeah, you don't really need it. Sometimes you'll burn through both on turn 1, it sucks, but you can always summon it back with like Chamber. 1 Rage, 1 Anguish, 1 Abomination. I don't think Abomination's actually that good right now. This could probably be cut for like Underworld Goddess or for like a 3rd Yama if you really want it. It's just not too important to clear like multiple bits of back row like it was in the like Unchained, in the like Yubel and Snake Eyes format. Muck, this is just good to go into for some of the 1 cards. It lets you go for like Yubel and Unchained lines. It's also something else to link into with Rage once you've burned through the Anguish and you've burned through the SP, which is like, it sounds specific, but it's pretty common. And plus Disaster you can link into this. If you run Terror Incarnate as well, this can like help to, you know, use it as a board wipe. It's come up in testing a little bit, but obviously not in the deck list right now. Caesar and Yubel and Phantom, of course you're running these. Phantom's like busted, sucks it's at 1, but it's also whatever because of Throne.
Deserves to be a 1.
Nah, mate, let me make 3 of these again. I love it. And then Caesar's insane, especially with Shivar underneath. It's just follow up and it's everything else that you'll ever want. Extra deck felt pretty good. I liked everything in here. I went into everything but the Muck. The thing is you're going to get stopped a lot, and the Muck doesn't help you play through much because you need to discard a card. And there's not too much you want to bring back. Like I guess if you destroy a Spirit, you can summon it back. But you might have already made Phantom by then. It's not very often that you haven't already done that. But besides that, the rest of it's really good. And like the Abomination's still fine to go into. It's just a 3k beater, a way of like beating over something, then killing a detonator. And it's only damage that. It's pretty nice if you just let you get into it. Side deck, 3 Lancia, because Malice is a deck. Could be Chaos Hunters because you are playing a Fiend deck. And discarding a card doesn't always come up. But it's just like some outright throw in. Also, most people don't run Chaos Hunter for cross out, so that's good. And this one died to Cold by the Grave. 3 Droll is, you know, really good into Rhys. It's like fine into Rogue as well because you do want to cover that base a little bit. Like hitting like Snake Eyes with this, hitting Yubel with this is really killer. And the rest of it, honestly, I don't know what's Rogue right now. I've just thought about the main 2 decks and the fact that Yubel is still a deck that exists. 3 Phantasmith, just go into like everything besides like pure Rhys. Because like Fiendsmith, you can still draw 2, put 1 back, which is really good for trying to find a non-engineered board into.
I don't think people think that Phantasma is good.
No, Phantasma is amazing. The fact that like as well into Malice, you can draw like 2 to 3 cards.
Yeah, it's just really crazy.
It's really good. And the extra body as well, like this is half of a full combo. It's nuts. You just normal summon a hand trap if you like stop them with yours. Even though you don't get into hand trap wars too much with this deck. But if you find a way of stopping them, you just summon this out. Then you just normal any guy and you get to bait some hand traps with Fiendsmith line. 2 Cosmic, this is really good because you actually get to hit cross and it can't get cross back from banished. and most decks are running 1, so it's not very easy to have them get into the grind game with you. And your grind game in this deck is really good because of all the Unchained card adding from grade to hand and the destroyers. 2 talents and thrust, just more cards for going first with a D barrier. There's a lot of blowouts you can go into going first. Like nibs you want to be able to void out of, so having access to like these 3 is good, and you can take out a brick for this and you're kind of sorted. Anything else, like if you're playing against Rhys, you can also put the draws in, because you don't really care about searching on your opponent's turn, it's just about adding from graves to hands. So this engine went really well, this like scum game type of thing went really well. Tactics being able to rip as well is like pretty good. If they hand trap you twice, you still get to play through it.
Alright, that's perfect. Thank you very much, Rhys.
Yep, no worries.
Anything you would change before we end the video?
Mainly the Abomination is like the first thing that would go. Muck could maybe go, and then in terms of the main deck, as I said, like the Sacred Beast engine could use a little bit of work. The Unchained engine like could change slightly, but I know that like these 6 are mainstays, these 3 are definitely staying in, and I'm running at least 2 of each trap. These could go up, this could go for something else, or I could just like cut this and try and get the deck count down by 1. In terms of non-engine, a lot of your deck has to be engine, and it lets you play through quite a lot. I didn't exactly hate going second if I drew 1 bit of non-engine. It's just like, if a Rhys player opens up, gets through 5 hand traps or something, it's really rough for you to play through alongside Detonator.
No, that's perfect. Thank you very much, Rhys.
Yep, no worries.
Alright, see you guys later.